I want you to think about it right from right there. If you're not going to deal with women, because that's the message, don't deal with the women. If you're not dealing with women, then who are you dealing with? If you're not dating women, who are you dating? If you're not sleeping with women, who are you sleeping with? If you're not marrying women, who are you marrying? It has to be men.
What?
It has to be a homosexuality thing. This has to be a psychological operation to turn every man homosexual. That's the only way I see it. I want to ask a simple question. Is the red pill grooming men for homosexuality? Now, I don't want you to get mad. I want you to just think about what I'm saying. Just hear me out. I always see these titles all around YouTube because I get recommended a lot of these videos, even from female red pill type creators, right? Like the Nika and Crimson, you know. I always talk about how men are walking away and O'Shea Dujacks, and men are walking away from marriage, and men are walking away from these women, and you know, ha ha he, the men are saying no, and you know, and it's weird because I keep asking the same question in these comment sections and I have yet to get an answer. If the men are walking away from women, then who exactly are the men going to date and marry? I mean, I can stop the video right there, can't I? You see, I can stop it right there. See, because this is the same thing feminism did to women. And everybody knows feminism was nothing but a homosexual, anti-male psychological operation. That's all it is. It's a psyops. And one of the things they still telling women right now in the B4 movement is to not engage in any heterosexual dating or heterosexual marriages, which leaves what? Homosexual dating and marriages. If you're telling them, you're not even saying to open the options to homosexual. You're not saying you could date heterosexual or homosexual. You're saying no heterosexual dating, no heterosexual marriage. So what's left? Homosexuality. I mean, am I the only person that be seeing this stuff so clearly? So if you are telling women to basically not deal with men, then you are telling women inadvertently to deal with women. So on the other side, if you're telling men to not deal with women, then you are inadvertently telling men to deal with men. So when I first heard MGTOW, right, I immediately understood the concept. First of all, as I keep telling you, I keep trying to tell y'all that I am the real MGTOW because they study men like me. You dudes get mad at me, but I'm telling y'all the truth. I remember when the white boys, I used to go on their racist websites, right, just to read what they were saying. I remember seeing the conversations up there when they was talking about how feminism was starting to become a serious problem in the so-called white community, right? And they was discussing what could they do to counteract it, right? And a lot of the white boys are saying, well, we got to study what black men did. Because, see, they recognize we had this problem way back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, right? So they said, well, what did the black men do? Well, here's the problem that white men have. What black men did to circumvent the scourge of feminism and the damage it was causing to the relationship between black men and black women, white men don't have that option, which is to actually go your own way and date other women. Because that's what we did. This is how me coming from a city like New Orleans, a black city with nothing but black people, went to school with only black people, was around nothing but black people. You know, our schools are not mixed. We don't have a percentage of Asians or whites or none of that stuff in our schools, except for out in the East. You know, because after the Vietnamese War, a lot of Vietnamese were brought to New Orleans and put in a certain section back in the East. So a lot of them do live back in the East. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, you know, you don't just see nothing else in New Orleans but black people, right? I never hung in non-black areas. I never really like like hung out in non-black areas. But there was always non-black women in these all-black areas. So I didn't have to go outside anywhere to meet non-black women. So I've been able to meet, date, and sleep with more non-black women than black women. And I spent the better part of my life in almost exclusive black areas. I dated and dealt with the women that wanted to date and deal with me, period. I'm not saying that I didn't have it good with black women, because I mean, I still was sleeping with black women the whole time, you know what I'm saying? Always had black girlfriends the entire time. I'm not saying that I had it bad with black women. It's just that because of the way feminism has a hold on the black woman in general, it has changed her cultural behaviors towards black men in general. So I dated more non-black women than I did black women. So that was how we dealt with this scourge of feminism, right? But the white man, he can't do that. He can't just go and start dating different women because he don't have it like that. The average white boy cannot just go walk up to an Asian girl or Mexican girl or Latina or a black chick and just pull her. He can't do it. But the average black man can. But to make my point, to tie it in, when I heard about MGTOW the first time, I thought, okay, they're gonna tell men to just date and marry the women that wanna date and marry you. But when I started realizing that it wasn't that, it became more about complaining about women not wanting you, the women you want to want you, not wanting you. Instead, you just go and find the women that do want you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what MGTOW is really should really be about. You go out and you find the women that do want you, instead of trying to cry about the women that you want that don't want you. Because I don't care who don't want me. Because when she don't want me, that one do. And if she don't want me, that one do. That's just how I live my life, right? You know what I'm saying? So I just simply went my own way. I dated and married and everything according to who I click better with, regardless of their race. So I'm gonna go back to the original question. So if you've got an ideology that keeps basically telling you to hate and despise women, to be angry and confrontational towards women, to be contentious towards women, then who are you going to date and marry as a man? It has to be men. The answer can't be nothing but men. It has to be men. So I have to ask, is the red pill really grooming y'all for homosexuality? Because that's the only thing that's going to come out of all this. Men are walking away from women. Men are refusing to deal with women. If we don't deal with women, who we going to deal with? Who are you going to, if you're not dealing with women, who are you dealing with? You know, I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm not going to keep going. I want you to think about it right from right there. If you're not going to deal with women, because that's the message, don't deal with the women. If you're not dealing with women, then who are you dealing with? If you're not dating women, who are you dating? If you're not sleeping with women, who are you sleeping with? If you're not marrying women, who are you marrying? It has to be men. It has to be a homosexuality thing. This has to be a psychological operation to turn every man homosexual. That's the only way I see it. Now you tell me how you see it. And look, the sad thing is, I know y'all gonna try to justify this stuff with silliness. If you can't counter what you can't give me an intelligent answer, just shut up. Cause I don't need you just calling me a simp and all. That don't bother me, bro. You're not hurting me, man. I don't need you coming to the comments saying, oh, you just don't understand. You're a simp. You know what I'm saying? You Captain Saber. I don't need to hear none of that shit, bro. I don't need to hear none of that. Answer the damn question. If you're not dating women, if you're not sleeping with women, if you're not marrying women, then who are you dating, sleeping with, and marrying? Who? It has to be men. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, I'm out of here, Brother Kush, aka the Black Alpha. Salam.